In colonial India, the British government had a cobra problem. Too many snakes. So they offered a bounty. Bring in a dead cobra and get paid. Seems reasonable. But here's what happened. People started breeding cobras. They'd raise them, kill them, and then collect the reward. The government created more cobras by trying to reduce them. This is called the Cobra Effect. And it happens in business every single day. You set a target, your team hits the target, but somehow your business isn't better off. That's because the target was wrong. Today, I'm going to show you how to build an accountability system that actually works. One that gets your team taking ownership without creating cobra farms in your business. I was working with a founder who had a great team, smart people, hardworking, but he couldn't take a single day off without everything falling apart. Every morning, he'd walk in and there'd be a queue of questions waiting for him. Tasks that should have been handled were sitting there. Decisions that should have been made were on hold. He was working 60-hour weeks and still felt behind. The problem wasn't his team. The problem was that nobody knew who owned what. So everything floated back to him. Here's what was happening. He had 5 people on his team, good people. But when something needed to happen, they'd ask him. When a decision needed to be made, they'd wait for him. When a task got dropped, nobody knew whose job it was to catch it. He thought the problem was his team. Maybe they weren't capable enough. Maybe he needed better people. But when we dug in, the real issue was obvious. There was no clarity on ownership. Nothing was written down, no clear lines, just a vague sense that everyone was meant to be helping out with everything, which meant nobody owned anything. So we built something called an accountability chart. Not a fancy org chart with titles and dotted lines, a simple map of who owns what. Each box had a name, 3 to 5 things that person was accountable for. Not tasks, accountabilities, and the difference matters. A task is send the invoice. An accountability is accounts receivable. One is a to-do item, the other is an area of ownership. Within 3 weeks, the change was obvious. People started making decisions without waiting for permission. Tasks stopped falling through the cracks, and he got his time back. Not because the team suddenly became more capable. They were always capable. They just didn't know what was theirs to own. Here's why it works. When you give someone clear ownership, you give them freedom. Take marketing as an example. If your marketing person owns appointments booked for sales calls, they have a clear goal. They can decide how to hit that number, what tactics to use, what channels to focus on. You're not telling them what to do every day. You're holding them accountable to an outcome. Clear accountability plus a measurable goal equals better performance and more autonomy. And when you see your team taking ownership, you feel more comfortable stepping back. That's how you stop being the bottleneck. Now let me show you 3 mistakes that kill most accountability charts before they even get started. I see these constantly. Mistake number 1. Planning for people instead of functions. Most founders grab a whiteboard and they write down their team members' names. Then they try to figure out what each person should own. This is backwards. You end up biased by who you have instead of what you actually need. Instead, start with the functions. What does the business need to operate? Sales, marketing, operations, finance, delivery. Map those out first, then add names. If you do it the other way around, you'll miss gaps and create overlaps without realizing it. Mistake number 2, overloading one person. This usually happens with a founder or with that one reliable person who always says yes. You'll look at that chart and their box has 15 accountabilities. If someone owns 15 things, they don't really own any of them. They're just firefighting. This leads to burnout, poor performance, people leaving, or all 3. 3 to 5 accountabilities per person. That's the sweet spot. If someone has more than that, you need to delegate or hire. Mistake number 3. This is where the Cobra Effect comes in. No KPIs, or worse, the wrong KPIs. If someone is accountable for an area, they need to know what success looks like. A number is best. But here's where it gets tricky. Too many KPIs, and they'll focus on whichever is the easiest to move. One good KPI per accountability is ideal, and you need to choose carefully. Bad KPIs create bad behaviour. Remember the cobras? The British government measured dead cobras, so people optimised for dead cobras. Not fewer cobras, dead cobras. The metric created the opposite of what they wanted. I've seen this in business. A call centre measures call volume. Staff rush through the calls to hit the number. Customer satisfaction drops. A sales team measures meetings booked. They book meetings with anyone who says yes. The pipeline looks great. Close rate collapses. So when you pick a KPI, ask yourself, could someone game this in a way that it hurts our business? If yes, pick a different number. Let me show you what a good accountability chart looks like. It's simple. Boxes with names. Under each name, 3 to 5 accountabilities. Not job descriptions. Not vague responsibilities. Specific areas of ownership. You might see LMA in some boxes. That stands for leadership, management, and accountability. It means that person is a people leader. They're accountable for performance of others, not just their own work. A few rules to keep it clean. 1 person, 1 lead. If someone reports to 2 people, priorities get confused. Say Sandy reports to Brad for EA work, but also Tyler for bookkeeping. Both need things from her. Both think their work is the priority. Sandy doesn't know what to focus on. Work gets dropped. Everyone's frustrated. Keep reporting lines clean. 1 person to report to. It's okay to have 1 name in multiple boxes. When most founders start their businesses, their name was in every single box. Sales, marketing, operations, finance, delivery, all of it. Over time, you hand those boxes off. That's what growth looks like. So if your name is still in 3 boxes, that's fine. Just know which one you're handing off next. But never put 2 names in 1 box. This is the rule that matters the most, because if 2 people own something, nobody owns it. When something goes wrong, they point to each other. When something needs a decision, they both wait. 1 name on it, every process, every project, every deliverable, 1 name. Once your accountability chart is done, something powerful happens. You can start assigning SOPs to the right people. Instead of you maintaining every process document, each process gets assigned to whoever owns that accountability. They maintain it. They update it. They train others on it. This spreads the load across the team. It takes the pressure off you. And it means processes actually stay current because the person using them is the person responsible for them. Here's what I want you to do after this video. Build your accountability chart. You can use a template, Canva, Miro, Whimsical, all work great. Or use pen and paper. The tool doesn't matter. Here's the process. Step 1. List the functions your business needs. Don't think about people yet. Just functions. Step 2. Under each function, write 3 to 5 accountabilities. Step 3. Add 1 KPI per accountability. What does success look like? And remember the cobras? Make sure the KPI can't be gamed. Step 4. Now add names. Who owns each box? If your name is in too many boxes, that's your roadmap for delegation. If a box has no name, that's a gap. You need to fill it. When your team knows what they own, they take ownership. When they take ownership, you get your time back. That founder I mentioned at the start, 6 months later, he took 2 weeks off. First real holiday in 3 years. The business didn't just survive, it ran smoothly because everyone knew what was theirs to own. and nobody was breeding cobras. I've got a free operations assessment that shows you where your bottlenecks are. The link's in the description. Takes about 5 minutes. See you in the next one.